Are you in Manhattan Beach and been craving that cute little bistro that you had in the Village in New York City, or that great corner restaurant when you were in London? Well, I've got the spot for you. I am here on Manhattan Avenue, and I am so excited to share with you this hot new restaurant in town called Slay's Steak and Fish House. You've got to check it out. Hi, I'm Shumbo with Vista Sotheby's, and I am so excited to be here at Slay's Steak and Fish House with my dear friend, David Slay. And we're gonna be talking about giving you a little behind the scenes with David. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and congratulations.
Thank you. Well, congratulations to you. You know, in the restaurant community here, you're a newcomer to the community, but not new to the restaurant business. So what I'd love to do is to kind of go back a little bit and tell people a little bit about your background. You are from St. Louis originally, right?
Correct. St. Louis, Missouri. Gail and I have been out here about 30 years.
You are a third generation restaurateur. You started cooking when you were young with your dad, Anthony. Tell everybody a little bit about that and your background in St. Louis.
Well, growing up in a restaurant family, we're 3 generations of chefs, restaurateurs, and I was doing it when it wasn't trendy, when it was, 80-hour weeks instead of 40 with 2 days off, and just got to learn the business hands-on, starting from the bottom up, whether it was cleaning the dining room, cleaning the restrooms, washing dishes, then to butchering meat, making dressings, all the way up to becoming an executive chef and entrepreneur.
That's so exciting. Well, one of the things I have a question about, is there anything from growing up with your dad and previous family that you carry with you through your business? Is there a common thread that you see through all your businesses that you've had in the past?
Yeah, it's hands down the work ethic. The work ethic that my dad had is second to none, and that's something I've carried on my whole career, my whole life, and something I've instilled in our kids.
You started a restaurant at 20 back in St. Louis. Rumor has it that you couldn't get your liquor license because you were too young. Is that true?
Yeah, very true. Our first restaurant, I wasn't old enough to get a liquor license. We would send guests over to my dad's restaurant across the street to go to the bar to drink and wait for their table to be ready, and we would call over there and say, the Jones party for 23 is ready, or the Jones party on 22 is ready.
That's
and
hilarious.
They'd walk back over to our restaurant. But yeah, that's very true, 100% true.
You and Gail moved out here in 1989. You started a restaurant in Beverly Hills called La Veranda. How hard was it to make the transfer from moving from St. Louis, starting a restaurant in a major city for restaurants? How was that? Was it challenging or?
Yeah, it was a huge challenge, because what drove me to want to do it, my first choice was to move to New York. At that time, New York was in their economic downslide, and I said, you know what, let's go to Los Angeles. I wanted to compete in a major market, so that's what was the whole drive behind me. And then when we moved here, one thing that I think is one of my traits for what I do is I give hospitality. I treat guests well. And from the beginning, that was always something that the guests in Beverly Hills appreciated, whether they were a movie star or a super agent or just someone coming in for regular dinner. They were all treated the same. Naturally, you had to juggle a table here or there to accommodate what they like or don't like. But in the long run, in an area like Beverly Hills where one agency has their restaurant, another agency has their restaurant, our restaurant was for all of them, and it was a big part of our success.
Well, David, just so you all know, is very humble and never brags about himself. So I'm going to do a little bragging for him about La Veranda. So it was recognized as the best gold medal restaurant in the US at one point. You were named by LA Magazine. They included you on a list of 300 reasons not to pack up and leave Los Angeles. And I've seen it for myself when I was at Dan Tana's. I did spot David on the list on the wall. And you were named by Food and Wine Magazine's list as top new chefs. And you were frequented by the who's who of the entertainment industry, like you said. That's pretty cool.
It is, and when I think back about it now, it's changed so much. You go out to dinner today and you don't know who is. I mean, everyone looks the same, jeans, t-shirt, not shaved. And then it was still a time where people still kind of got dressed up a bit and they still enjoyed dining. And all the accolades are great. No doubt it's always important. However, I've never rested my laurels 1 minute on any of them. I always come to work just like it's my first day.
And I can agree with that because I know him very well. You have a restaurant in Orange County, which a lot of people here in the community may or may not know. David does have a lot of clients from the South Bay that frequent down there, Il Garage and Park Avenue. Tell us a little bit about that restaurant. And because a lot of people don't know, it's in Stanton and they don't know.
Stanton in North Orange County. And it's a magical place. We have about 5 acres. Park Avenue is on one end of the property and very, very similar in style to Slay Manhattan Beach and menu. It's much bigger. Il Garage is Italian and features a whole different menu. A lot of stuff from our garden that we grow daily. What we harvest goes on the menu. So both of them are unique in itself. And then to add 5 acres on top of it of beautifully landscaped grounds. I mean, it's just a well-maintained restaurant and a unique experience to go there, grab a glass of wine, walk the property, sit on a bench, look at beautiful flowers, look at the garden itself. It's an unusual Southern California experience for the fact that it's that much space. But both of them have been named top restaurants in Orange County, either by the Register or Orange Coast Magazine. So they both have done well. They're a 100% destination. We do get people from Manhattan Beach, especially since the restaurant's been open, that have made the pilgrimage down there to see what it's all about, and it's just it's
one
unique.
of them.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that I love about it is I go there with my friends, and a lot of the people that are going to be watching this video are actually real estate agents as well, and they've had the opportunity to go down there. And one of the things that I love is a lot of people don't realize you do everything from scratch. You bake the bread there in the morning, and you're doing that here. You do the desserts. Everything is fresh.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, and it's something I've always cooked that way. I've always had a garden. Even in St. Louis, we grew, and we've expanded on it at Park Ave because we have so much ground.
Right.
But making simple things as ketchup and mustards, and we have 600,000 bees where we produce our own honey, and then we bring the wine into it and all the other stuff that we grow. It's just a very fresh approach to dining. So many people notice it, so many people appreciate it.
What made you decide to come to Manhattan Beach? Of course, I am so excited to have you here. And for a lot of people that are in the community, Darren's had been a local, and I did want to point that out. It was a local restaurant here in town. And when you said that you were taking it over, one of the things that I loved about Darren's was the boutique feel, and that it had a lot of regulars. And there was no one I was more excited to have take over the restaurant than you. What made you choose Manhattan Beach as a restaurant?
Well, 2 things. Back to Darren's, first of all. A lot of people, when they come in, just the idea that a restaurant closed, they always put a bad image with it.
Right.
Darren's closing was a huge success. He ran a full 10 years of his lease, plus his 2-year option. So 12 years in a restaurant today is an eternity. Right. So Darren is commended for that. And his passion for what he and his team and his father and mother had done here is really special. when we found out it came available, a good friend of ours was here having dinner, and he heard the news that it was available, and he immediately came to us and told us, and we put an offer on it pretty much the next day, and here we are. I mean, it was a quick turnaround, quick construction, quick remodel, and we've been open in our third month, and it's just been remarkably way above what we thought successful it would be to start. You know, we thought where we are today we'd be in about 6-8 months, so we're ahead of schedule on that.
That's so awesome, and I didn't expect anything less.
No.
Let's talk about design. I mean, wow, look at this space.
Yeah, both our friends, Teresa
Yes.
Fatino, who is just a world-class designer. She works all over the world. This by far has to be her smallest job she's ever done. She did it as a favor, and she did a great job and couldn't be more pleased. You know, something to say, small spaces are really difficult. It's difficult for the kitchen, it's difficult for operations. I'm sure it's difficult for design. You have so many ideas,
Right.
but in such a small space to convey that. But she hit it spot on, and we couldn't be prouder. Gail and her worked together. They spent a lot of time together, and anytime she would come back with a drawing or color board, you didn't even have to question it. It was always spot on.
Well, and you can just see it. I always say it's kind of like Ralph Lauren meets the beach a little bit, and it's different. It's different than anything we have here in town. It feels a little bit East Coast, a little bit European, and it's just nice to have a fresh new space. I mean, everything from the leather to the brass to all the details and the artwork, it's amazing.
Yeah, she's great at that. All the detail work, I mean, she was spot on it. And when she would get finished with one area and say, we think we need a railing here, or when we talked about this wall. And one of the things that we did want to do is we did want a different restaurant for down here. We wanted a grown-up restaurant. Not a place, I mean, not that we're not welcoming kids, but we wanted it to be a place to where leave the kids at home with the sitter that night and let's you and I go out for dinner and not have to worry about crying kids in the restaurant. And we put carpeting in, we put old school tablecloths instead of recycled wood. We put this beautiful
I
pattern on
love,
the
this
wall.
is like one of my favorite things she
we
did.
brought our artwork from the Vineyard just to make it more adult.
Yeah.
And it's
These are probably one of my favorite things. I saw them up at the Vineyard, and to have them here, they're absolutely beautiful, and they fit the restaurant perfect.
this wall was designed to host those.
It's gorgeous. So talk to us a little bit, for people who haven't been here yet, talk to us a little bit about the menu and what your thought process was putting it together. And
Our menu is, you know, to put it pretty straightforward, American cuisine. Comfort food, simply prepared, freshest ingredients, prime meat, sustainable seafood, vegetables we grow ourselves, squash blossoms we grow, all of our lettuces we grow. Just brought these beautiful Tuscan melons from the vineyard yesterday. Some 15 different varieties of tomatoes we brought from the vineyard yesterday. And how we serve and how we prepare, we cook on cast iron for all of our steaks. They're cooked in cast iron, gives a nice charred.
don't want to interrupt, but the steaks are phenomenal.
So they have a nice crust on them. They're moist inside. Our seafood is all sustainable, whether we're cooking that in cast iron or roasting it or baking it. Everything we do is very limited ingredients, not a lot of fuss on the plate. We garnish with flowers that we grow either at our house or up at the vineyard, and we incorporate clean, healthy cooking into everything we prepare.
And I've had a lot of what's been on the menu, and it's phenomenal. And I love that you brought the crispy
Crispy
greens.
That's been following me around for a while. Since St. Louis.
So crispy greens they're on the menu. We'll leave it at that. If you come into the restaurant, you definitely have to try them. I'm a little parched, so can we talk about wine for a minute?
Yeah, it's wine.
Let's do a cheers.
Cheers to you.
Well, cheers to you, opening up. This is my premiere starting of my new video series, and David has been so gracious to help me launch that. And with his business, there's no one I could be more proud to interview as my first. So let's talk about Slayer.
Well, we started Slay Estate and Vineyard a little over 2 years ago. We purchased a beautiful property that you've been to in the prestigious Santa Rita Hills AVA of Santa Barbara County. It's just known for Chardonnay and Pinot grapes, which are Burgundy original.
Okay.
The growing there with the east to west landing, nights are, even this time of year in August, nights are down to 48 degrees. You wake up in the morning, there's a fog over the vineyard, which gets the grapes nice and cold. Morning comes, by noon the sun burns off that, and the heat keeps those grapes just baking in the sun to where it just makes wonderful wine. We're producing 2 different wines from there.
Yeah, we've got the Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. We have about 10 acres planted. We're looking at planting more next season. And
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but are you just going to be doing Chardonnay and Pinot, or at the new location will you be doing?
Well, we're kicking around the idea of Merlot. I met with someone when we were up there Monday to see if it's even doable. It is. It's going to require a lot more work, which that's okay. We're building the vineyard for us, not for, when I say for us, for our restaurants primarily. So we can afford to have a little time to get what we want right. If it's not right on the first vintage, we can tweak it. But everything we're doing has been pretty spot on. The place itself is immaculate. We've had so much interest from around the state for different groups to come in and photo there. And it's just like the last few months, it's just been really popping, and we're really thrilled with it.
So if somebody wanted to purchase these wines, could they get them outside the restaurant, or do they have to come into the restaurant?
They go to slayestateandvineyard.com.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to share with people too is up at the Slay Estate and Vineyard, you also rent that out for events. And tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've hosted there. What could people utilize that for?
It's ideal for weddings, corporate events, luncheons if you're up there for a corporate event. The good thing about what we have, from what we're told from a lot of the vendors up there, is we have an enclosed space that can hold 100 people. They don't have to worry about bringing in flooring, heating, cooling, or lighting for the most part. So that stuff is normally a cost that is one of the biggest costs, and we include it in the venue. However, we do provide the food, the wine, the liquor, and any other help they need, whether it's with car service to get people back and forth or what it may be. But it's one-stop shopping, and it's a beautiful, beautiful space. We have 30-foot high ceilings. It's just gorgeous.
And I've been there for a birthday party that was absolutely beautiful. You hosted Gail's birthday party there, and it was
pretty magical the way
it was beautiful.
She transformed her own birthday.
She did, and Gail is David's wife, and it was absolutely breathtaking, and a lot of people from the community were there. And I can honestly say, if somebody was thinking about getting married or hosting an event, it's definitely a beautiful place to consider. I know you're really busy and you've got things to do and run a restaurant here, but I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for including me.
No, I so appreciate you. And one of the things that I wanted to say to everybody is, he's so special. I'm gonna get a little teary-eyed. And what I want to do is I want for everybody to experience this great place. And I would love to give a $200 gift certificate. What I want you to do is I want you to go follow Slay Steak and Fish House and Ann Shumbo, tag us, say you've seen this video, and I'm gonna put you into a drawing so that we can send you here so you can experience what we all get to experience here every day and have their wonderful service. Chef David is here on a regular basis with his wife Gail, their son David, and sometimes you'll even see Will here. And it's really a family-run business, and they're here all the time. And I would love for you to get to experience what I've experienced on a regular basis. David, thank you.
Good job.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.